Elections have consequences. None more so than the election this Thursday. Friends, we have just 2 days left. Under 2 days to stop the break-up and sell-off of our public services. 2 days to stop the climate disaster. And 2 days to save our NHS from Johnson and Trump. We have just 2 days left to get the Tories out and to save our NHS. Now, we all love the NHS. In many ways, it sums up our dream of what a civilised society should be. When it was created by Labour, just after the Second World War, this country was on its knees. But we said, if we can spend money to build tanks and bullets and bombs to kill people, then we can spend money to heal them. Bevan had a vision and showed the courage by creating the NHS. Free at the point of need, covering everyone, regardless of income. The Tories, of course, opposed it, but we the people refused to give up because we had the hope for a better future for all our families. It also works economically. We know that private health systems cost more, they treat fewer people and have worse results. So Trump, you're not going to hear this because Fox News isn't here today, but our NHS is not for sale! 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 Not for sale!
Not for sale! Not for sale! Not for sale! Not for sale!
We created it. We work in it. We own it. It's ours. Our NHS is not for sale. Since the disastrous Health and Social Care Act, we've seen the increase of privatisation. Private firms such as Virgin Care suing the NHS because they don't get awarded contracts. We also know the NHS is being starved of funds, resulting in a sick 4-year-old boy having to sleep on the floor for the lack of a bed. Shame. This Thursday, we're fighting to save our NHS, to put in the funding it needs. But as I said, all elections have consequences. In 2010, when the Tories won, we got universal credit, PIP, in forcing disabled people and the sick to work. We got the bedroom tax. In 2015 they won, and we got Brexit. In 2017 they won, and 72 people burned to death in Grenfell because the Tory council was more concerned in covering up poverty than looking after the most vulnerable in our society. But when Labour wins, Britain wins. And if we lose on Thursday, we lose the NHS. We have to do everything we can to stand together. We need a Labour government. And Daniel Zeisler in Cambridge has been a fantastic MP. He has stood by the people of this city. He has stood up for our NHS. And he has stood up against the disastrous Brexit of a Johnson deal. On Thursday, we have a chance to change this country for the better forever. By making sure we invest in our public services, by putting in the money where it's needed, by recruiting more doctors and teachers, by making sure we do something to stop the environmental catastrophe we're facing. Or we have more of the same. So what do you want? A Labour government or the Tories?
Labour!
Labour government!
Save the NHS!
Save the NHS!
Save
Vote
the
Labour!
NHS!
Vote Labour!
Save the NHS!
Vote Labour! Save the NHS! Vote Labour! And to the Lib Dems, I've just got to say one thing. Move aside. Get out of the way. We don't want another coalition. We don't want a hung parliament. That's how the Tories win. We need a Labour government, and a Labour government now. The last time Labour was in power, we tried to wipe out childhood poverty. We invested in our hospitals. We invested in our GPs and our schools. We didn't have parents receiving begging letters asking for money. And we made sure that every child had a chance when they grew up in this country. And that's what we're going to do here again. We're going to rescue the NHS, will put the money where it's needed. By voting Labour on Thursday, you really have a chance to make this country a much better, much equal, a much fairer place. So what are you waiting for? Vote Labour this Thursday.
Vote Labour!